know what it is. It's Uncle Fred. It's about what 1st of December. And you already know it's Bama time and it's SEC championship time. And you know what time it is. You know what we do about this time. Bama SEC champs, as they supposed to be. We finna talk about it. Wanna hear it? Here it go.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
What's good? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle. One more again. Please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred sports experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. But look, hold on. Before we do anything, anything, I want y'all to hear a little something. And I always do this. Woo! The University of Alabama, your 2023 SEC champions. The reports of the University of Alabama's demise or regression to the mean, whatever expression you want to use, has been greatly exaggerated because a team that nobody thought was going to do anything was just going to play football, just going to go through the motions, fooled around, snuck around, slipped, fell down, and stumbled, and backed their way into an SEC championship today at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And I don't know what to say, but we getting ready to talk about that thing. Now, I will say it's sort of, I'm not going to say it's bittersweet because I watched the other games. I watched Michigan take out Iowa 29-0, which, I mean, I kind of expected that. But then I saw Louisville. You hate to say a team really didn't try to win or didn't put forth their best effort to try to secure a victory. It looked as though, and I'm not saying this because I'm an Alabama fan. You see what you want to see. I mean, no, I try to see things evenly, but I know when I see effort. When I don't, it looked like somebody told them, "Hey, man, don't just do what you do. Don't do nothing crazy." And Florida State go to the thing. We all get to eat. Kind of like what they told Wisconsin back in 2014. But I digress. So Florida State with a third-string quarterback, a freshman quarterback, they never played a down of football this year, beat a 10-win Louisville team that won some pretty good games this year. I mean, whatever. I watched the game. It didn't look like they was trying to win, but you know what? That's fine. It's fine. You ain't gonna steal my joy. Okay. But Alabama went into Atlanta and did that thing. Okay. So we're just gonna talk about it, and we're just gonna kind of shoot the bull a little bit, and just kind of celebrate a little bit, and we're gonna be gone. Ain't gonna even take that long, but I mean, it's just what it is. It's just roll tide, baby. It's just what we do. Okay. So the play, I mean, they kicked off. Alabama chose to take the ball, and it didn't. I'm a fan. I'm gonna be honest with you. It did not start off well Didn't start off well at all. Let me move this thing because it's not looking like I'm centered. I want to be centered. There we go. There we go. Didn't start off well because we went 3 plays, ran a couple of you know nondescript running plays. Lost 2 yards, and then they threw an incomplete pass. Man, it was about 2-3 possessions before Jalen completed the pass. I'm going out with you. And then they punted. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. They feeling each other out, whatever. And so Georgia gets the ball, okay, and they proceed to go 8 plays, 83 yards, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I mean, they went through us like a dose of casserole, like my mom and dad used to say back in the day. That means they went through them. Like you drink casserole because that's what people used to take when they had ailments back in the day. Now you got all kind of over-the-counter medications and stuff like that. But this was a time when you didn't have that kind of stuff. So you took some casserole, it went right through you, if you understand what I'm saying. So, okay. So yeah, the Georgia went through Alabama like a dose of casserole on that first, or like, through a goose. All right. And they scored. Touchdown. Milton, I think off tackle, touchdown, ran the end zone, capping off an 8-play, 83-yard drive. And like I said, took 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then we get the ball and we go 3 plays again. It takes 6 yards, like a 4-yard run, like a 2-yard run, 2-yard run, a 4-yard run, make a 3rd and 6, another incomplete pass, and we punt again. So I'm sitting there like, dude, they went through us so quick and we done punted twice. Dude, it was not looking good, right? It was not looking good. All right. But I believe that, and I'll have to apologize because, I'm not as up on the, all the particulars of the Alabama staff as I have been, because I know that Bill O'Brien is not the offensive coordinator no more. We got Tommy, I can't remember his last name there. It'll come to me in a minute, but we got him. And I didn't know who the defensive coordinator was, because I know Pete Golden's at Ole Miss now. All right. And I found out, I said, oh, our defensive coordinator is Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele been around college football for a long time. Like, he's been Alabama's defensive coordinator before, back in the day, Auburn's defensive coordinator back in the day. I want to say Ole Miss's defensive coordinator back in the day. I want to say maybe even LSU. He been around the circuit. He is a guy that knows his defense. He's a veteran defensive coordinator. Okay. And what I liked about it, they made adjustments, because you can tell when a team makes adjustments. They play in a certain way, they game plan for a certain thing, right? And then they go to the sideline and say, okay, now they're doing this. They're blocking this way. They using this sort of formation. They're doing this, right? And I like how they, on the second possession, the defensive line was teeing off and they was getting in the backfield. So they made Georgia go 3 plays, minus 3 yards, and a punt. I'm like, cool. All right, let's get the ball back. And it's our 3rd possession. And so we promptly go 8 plays, 29 yards, 26 yards, and they kick a field goal. I said, okay, it's 7-3. So now we got to hold on there, because Georgia is known for answering. It's okay. They're going to go and they're going to answer and they're going to come back. But no, again, whatever they was trying to run, they was right on top of that. Where it was a pass, they was right there. I mean, Brock Bowers was, he's the dude now. That tight end, number 19, he the dude. But they was on him, okay? And they tried to run it with Dijon Edwards and Milton. They was trying to run it, but they was getting in there. I mean, they would get something every now and then, but that was 3 straight punts. You ever see a team make Georgia punt on 3 consecutive possessions? You hardly ever see that, right? And so everything changed. On this particular on Alabama's 4th possession, because their 3rd possession they got a field goal, okay, and they're starting to get a feel for how they're gonna play this thing. So Bama gets the ball, and I think this is the most important drive of the game, okay, because they get the ball at their own 8-yard line, all right, and so that's the drive to put it away. So Jalen passed, rushed for 9 yards, then for 12 yards, and then Jam Miller goes for 8 yards, and and then they just meticulously moving the ball, getting the ball off of the shadow of their goal line, right? All right. And so they get so they get down, and it was interesting because they got down inside the 20-yard line, and it was right there that the officials wanted to start doing some crazy stuff, right? So I think it was like it's at the I want to say at the 20 they had got down to the 18-yard line. Okay, then they ran a play. Then they wanted to call holding on my man Roberts. Okay, who's the guard who's just started been playing because we was having problems with the offensive line early in the season. I think we got like 40 sacks given up this year. And so they called him for holding, and even them anti-Alabama commentators. I used to didn't listen to them people that's on the chats or in the the Alabama sites and different things talking about the announcers and stuff, because I was just saying, man, they're not supposed to be Alabama fans. They're not supposed to see it like you see it. But when you start hearing them, say little stuff and carrying on things for way longer than they're supposed to, than it really is relevant, and they keep talking about it. So anyway, there was a holding call, and I always say holding call is like the big joker to referees. And if you want to go conspiracy theory, which I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying, to me, the holding call is like the big joker. It's like that's the card I can play that'll blow everything up. A team doing a little too much that we don't want to win, or they're getting too ahead of themselves. We want the game to stay competitive. We don't want this team to get way out in front of this other team, because they want to keep people watching the game. A team go up 2-3 touchdowns. People have a tendency to go find something else to do. So anyway, them folks, they want Georgia. They wanted Georgia to get that 30th straight win. I mean, come on now. That's good for the SEC, right? So get a holding call, and even them announcers I'm going to tell you some instances where they was anti-Alabama late in this video. But they come back and say, oh, that's really not holding. That's all he did was push him down. I say, and I think sometimes refs, when they see a guy go down, I can play that card now, because I can say he grabbed him and pulled him down. And really, it's just, you get to pushing and shoving and stuff, and you just push the guy down. And so I'm like, dadgum, we just got into the red zone, right? We just got into the red zone, and they're going to call a holding call. And I'm like, we really, because a 10-yard penalty is usually a killer for a team that's, trying to find themselves offensively, right? So here come the holding call. And I'm like, dang, right? And so very next play, we're at the 28-yard line. Very next play, Milroe goes back to pass, looks over the field, scans the middle of the field, comes back left, and there goes Jam Miller hanging on the left side in the cut. And he got some speed. I really like to see that dude play a little more, because he got a little more speed than the other dude. But at Alabama, you got to wait your turn. Right? Roydell Williams is, was ahead of you. He's been there like 5 years. And, of course, Chase McClellan, who didn't play today, prayers up for Chase McClellan. For whoever we play at the next round, wherever we play, I hope he's able to play. But he skirts down that left sideline just like that and skirts into the end zone. And I'll be dang, Alabama's got the lead. And it's a lead they would never relinquish, because Georgia got the ball and they drove like 55 yards or something like that, and the dude missed a field goal. And I'm like, okay, we got a chance to seize this thing now, and seize it we did. We got that thing, and we drove. I think from our I think we drove from the. We drove 9 plays. We go 69 yards in 3 minutes and 49 seconds. The first play of the drive. This is where the officials getting crazy, right? First play of the drive. Milroe throws out deep to the right to Prentice, and it's like interference. Now it's one of them interferences a lot of people got a problem with. I got a problem to it unless the guy just basically runs over the guy, right? I got a problem with that, right? But it was a short pass, right? It was a deep pass, but he threw it short. Okay, he didn't get all of it onto it. And so the ball's in the air, and it's to Jermaine Burton. So Burton's coming back for the football, and the corner is not even looking for the football. He's just running downfield and just blasts right into him. And here come the ball. And I'm like, I get it. it's a short pass, and you hate for it because teams was doing that, throwing ball short, let the guy try to fight back for the ball and get a cheap call, right? Now in the NFL, it's a big deal because you get all of that yardage. That was like a 40-yard play, right? But in college, I mean, you can belly ache about it all you want to, but it's only 15 yards, right? It's only 15 yards. It's 15-yard penalty. And so they end up at the 46-yard line from the 31. Okay, not a big deal. And my light timing out on me. Let me find my switch. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. All right. Get my light because I got to be able to see. So we get the ball at the 46-yard line, and then we make we get into the red zone or get inside the 40, it's the 43-yard line or the 38-yard line or whatever the case might be, 33, 34-yard line, whatever the case was. And then Jalen did something that I kind of wish he wouldn't do, but it's fine because he overcame it. But because once you get in the red zone or get close to the red zone, it's very important that you don't take a sack because you sacrificing field position and you can take yourself out of field goal range at the very least, right? And he got to looking and backpedaling and took like 11, 12-yard sack. And I'm like, you can't take a sack there, man. You have nothing else. Throw the ball out of bounds, down the field, And so it ends up being third down and 21, I think. And timeout, go to the sideline, we come up with a play. Right? And I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're going to get on this, but go back to pass, and he hits Amari Knobloch. He's a tight end, number 84, coming across the middle for like 17 yards. And it's just a little bit short of the first down. So I'm like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? So it was getting close to the end of the halftime because it's like a minute and a half or so left into the half. And so Nick is like trying to decide whether he's going to go for it or kick the field goal. Go for it or kick the field goal. And Kirby Smart, being the smart coach that he is, he's like, oh, no, you ain't going to sit there and just bleed this clock because I want to have some time left to put my offense on the field. And I'm going to call timeout. And that's what the smart coaches do. He called a timeout, so that made it where Nick had to make a call. What you going to do? So they called a timeout, and they said, okay, I guess we're going to go for it because we like at the 36. We on the edge of field goal range or something, right? Good field goal range. Reichert's been good, but he done missed some lately too. So, I mean, he's not as automatic as he used to be, right? So they go for it on fourth down. And I'm like, okay, all right. You're up 10-7. I'm like, man, this is crucial. This might be the most important play of the game. That last drive where they went 92 yards was the most important drive of the game, but I think this is the most important play of the game because I think it gave us the distance that allowed us to be able to do what we needed to do. So Milroe goes back to pass, and it was I guess you would call it like a circle route or a deep under where he goes in and curls back to the sideline, and there's Isaiah Bond for a 22-yard catch and bounced out towards the sideline. First down. And then 2 plays later, he hits my man Jermaine Burton, bobbled it a little bit, touchdown. Now, the interesting thing about here goes those officials again. They were here, they're looking, I don't know if that guy really caught that fourth down play. They didn't even go look at that. Man, I see that ball moving a little bit. Why don't they need to go back and look at that? They're wrong. They didn't go back and look. And I get what they're saying and whatever. They might have, should have looked at, but it was a catch. Okay, what metrics you looking for? That was a catch. Okay. But they didn't look at it. We went on 2 plays later, got the touchdown to Burton. Now at halftime, we up 17-10 because Georgia got the ball with about 20 seconds left to go. We made a couple of defensive plays. And they decided to shut it down. So second half, really wasn't nothing going on. Georgia don't do nothing really for the first part of the second half. And they kick a field goal. It's 17-10. Score a touchdown, I'm sorry. And they make it 17-14. And I'm like, okay, because we really didn't do nothing in the second half until like the fourth quarter comes around. All right, it's a 3-point game. And so we get the drive. Okay. we get to driving. So we get to driving, and we put that thing away with about 5 minutes. Because I liked how when we got inside the goal line, we didn't score immediately. It's like, okay, no, we was second down at the goal line. We don't get it, and it's third down, and we get the touchdown to Rodell Williams, right? So that makes it 27 to 17. 5 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the game, right? And so I'm like, okay, now I'm looking at okay, it's 5 minutes and some change left to go, 5:47 to go, and I'm like, okay, but they got to score twice. They're down 10. Okay, now if we don't let them score quick, we got a chance to win this thing, right? Because I've seen it too many times. When you go up 2 scores and somebody give up a give up 60-yard bomb or whatever for a touchdown. I'm like, that throws everything out, right? So they get the ball and we held them to fourth down. So they get a fourth down. Jaheim, what's the running back's name? I can't think of his name. He gets a first down on 11-yard run on 4th and 1 because they stopped them there. That would have been a ball game, right? Dijon Edwards. Okay, it was Dijon Edwards. And then after that first down, I'm thinking we get a sack. Okay, I see my man Jaheim Otis. That's the dude I'm talking about. Jaheim. Them names be sticking in my head. He gets a sack, but I'm seeing him reach towards the guy's helmet. I'm like, it's never a good thing to reach anything above the shoulder pads. You know, you got all this down here that you can grab, right? Shoulder pads, shoulders, arms, hips, all that stuff. Anytime you go grabbing around up here, it's never a good thing. But look, I don't play. So that thing's moving 100 miles an hour, so I get it. And I seen him. I said, oh, he got his face mask. They were saying at the house, no, that ain't he got his choke. No. I said, no, he got his face mask. His hand is all up under here. That's a face mask. If it ain't, they're going to call it anyway. So they called it. They got a first down, moved it 15 yards. And then right from there, they was right at midfield, about the 40, moved it to the 40-yard line of Bama. Next thing you know, Muse gets a 14-yarder, moves it down to like the 30, 2-yard line or whatever. Then they go 20 yards, Brock Bowers. They down to the 6-yard line with like 4.5 minutes left to go. And I'm like, man, they already down the 4-yard line. But then that Bama defense tightened up because first down, they try to run up the middle. Nothing. Nada. You get nothing and like it. Second down, tried to run out to the side. Nothing. Nada. You get nothing here. No soup for you. Third down, same thing. Nothing. And the time just tick, 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 tick. So it got to about 2 minutes and 52 seconds, and Kirby said, I got to call another timeout here. I think it was their first timeout because it's like, if we don't call a timeout here, plus it's fourth down, they're going to end up, fritting away all the time, and we still got to score again, right? So they called timeout, and they set their play up, and then they ran something off tackle right to, I think it was Milton, and he got a touchdown. So that made it 27-24 with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the game. So I'm like, okay, 2:52 to go, and they kick the ball off, and we get the ball at our 25-yard line. So I'm like, Jalen, if you ever going to get a play, you ever going to do something, this is the time to do it. Because we need to, they got 2 timeouts left because they really didn't want to use that first timeout down there. They wanted to make sure they had 3 when we got the ball. That way they can call it after first down, call it after second down, call it after third down, and get the ball back with only 15 or 20 seconds coming off the clock, right? But that ain't what happened, though. That ain't what happened. So they used that timeout, so they kicked it off to Bama, right? And so we get the ball back with 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go, and we get the ball first and 10 from our own 25-yard line. Okay, and Jalen Milroe makes the second play of the day. That dude skirts down the left sideline, looks like he's tackled, keeps running, and turns on them jets. And next thing you know, he's across midfield, down at the 41-yard, 42, 43-yard line, and he don't roll out of bounds. I'm like, and I'm seeing this referee doing this thing right here. You know what that means? That means that clock's still moving. The clock's still rolling. Because, so now he can't call a timeout because they got a first down. So he got to hold on to that timeout. So it's first down at the 40, 41. I want to say it's the 40 at the Georgia 45-yard line. Okay, then they ran off tackle to Rodell Williams. And then Georgia makes their first call, their second timeout. Okay. Makes it 2nd and 8. Okay. All right. They call the timeout. Then that daggum light, I'm telling you, man, it's killing me. Then Jalen, makes another great play. He fakes the pitch out to Jam Miller, and 3 full Georgia Bulldogs run with him. And he just keeps that thing, goes up the middle, staggers down, loses the football when he goes to the ground. Then he recovers it up on him. It's a first down. Georgia got to hold on to that other timeout. Okay, so that's first down now. After that 9-yard run, it's 1st and 10 at the Georgia 34. All right, and then we get a run with Rodell Williams, a 1-yard run, a 2nd and 9. Then Georgia calls their final timeout. Okay, but by this time, it's only 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my math pretty daggum good. Okay, so I know from this point on, with 1 minute and 15 left, you got 40 seconds between. Was it 30? Is it 30? Maybe 30 in college. I thought it's 40 in the pros. I'm thinking it's 30 in college, maybe 30-minute play clock. So if you do 30 minutes, 30 seconds between each play, that means 3 plays. That's 90 seconds, which is 1 minute and what? 1 minute 10, right? So they called a timeout or whatever. And then and maybe it is 40, because after that, they knelt down on it, because I think they knew at that point the game was over. And that clock just ticked and ticked and ticked and ticked until it was triple zeros. And Bama wins 27-24. And now it's going to be interesting how this thing goes. But before I get to that, let me tell you who did which and who did what and what's going on and who had the game of the day and who did what and all that sort of stuff. But man, this is good to be a Bama fan right about now, man. It just is, because it's just, when people have counted us out. I was really not understanding what we was doing earlier in the season. Really couldn't get a handle. I mean, I watched every game, but I couldn't see no rhythm. And it was about that time they got to the Tennessee game. And I started seeing them expand the offense and start using Jalen Milroe in ways that they weren't using him earlier. They was using him like a drop back passer. Now, to his credit, that's kind of the way he wanted it. Because he said, I'm not a runner. I don't even practice running. I practice throwing. Yeah, I get that. But they're trying to run it with you doing that, and it's not going well. So you got a skill set running that, because that dude get around the corner, man, he hard to bring down, right? So now he'll tell you, anybody that asks, he'll tell you that, I'm a thrower. I'm not a passer, So, I'm a thrower. I'm not a runner, but he just happens to run. I think Bryce had that same thing. And it was a matter of time when they convinced him to, like, hey, man, you're doing a team a disservice, man. If you sitting there holding the ball, trying to dial a ball through a keyhole for a 20-yard completion on 3rd and 5, and you could just run for the first down and keep the chains moving. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of at the end of the day, it's about, it's not about doing what you want to do. It's about what's best for the team. Okay. So that's when they start running them RPO plays and them little zone reads. He fake pitching and running out there. And because I was seeing many times he's doing that and ain't nobody out there. But he done handed it to Rodell Williams for 2-yard gain. And if he'd have kept it, he'd been going for 20 down the right sideline. So they figured out that that's what he can do. He's good at that. And then the passing will come. And the passing has come. Jalen Milroe today, and I'm going to say this too, and I think I might have said it in my last video. This might have been Nick Saban's best coaching, job. And I know he done coached, undefeated seasons. I remember 2020, and they went, 14-0, and didn't play the 10-game SEC schedule because of the, CV-19 and everything and whatnot. And they played probably the toughest schedule because you played 10 games in the SEC, right? That was impressive. I know 2009 was impressive because, they went 14-0 in his 3rd year there. They went 14-0. And they won the national championship beating Texas. I get that, right? That was impressive too. But if you look at every one of those teams, fam, each one of them teams, I guarantee you had 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe NFL players on it. You know, them first teams, you got Julio Jones, you had Mark Ingram, you had CJ Mosley, you had Courtney Upshaw, there was all kind of dudes on those teams, right? Now, not to mention the offensive linemen and all the kind, you had all kind of guys was going to the pros, linebackers, corners, Kareem Jackson. He's still in the league if he can stop getting fines, but he's still in the league. He was on that team, right? Bunch of NFL players on that team, right? And if you go down through that, like I said in the last video, right? And right now at the start of the NFL season this season, Alabama had 57 players on their that started the NFL season this year that came from Alabama, which is tops in college football. Okay, more teams than anybody in the NFL that's got from any one particular program. But this particular team, when you look at it, now I know them couple of those offensive linemen, Latham and Roberts, and there's a couple others. They got a chance to be, NFL players. I mean, you could say Jalen Milroe, but he got some work to do. He got some polish to put on. He got to be able to read defenses. You got to be able to, because he got to expand some of his stuff, right? But today he was 13 of 23, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also rushed it 14 times for 29 yards. Now, I know that might not seem like much, but remember, he had a crucial 30-yard run on that last drive-killing, game-ending drive, right? He had 30 yards on that. And remember, in college, every time you get sacked, it goes against your rushing totals. Now, in the NFL, every time you get sacked, it comes out for your passing totals, right? But you look at the rest of the team, you really think Jason McClellan and Rodell Williams are NFL backs? Because backs are kind of like almost a thing of the past now in the NFL. It's unless you dynamic, they not even looking at you like that. You got to look at that. Of our receivers, how many of our receivers you think gonna be NFL players? I like Jermaine Burton. We think would he be drafted? I like Isaiah Bond too, but let's just be honest. They're not Devontae Smith and Henry Ruggs or Jalen Waddle or Jerry Jeudy. They're not any of those dudes, right? They're not Jameson Williams. They're not even John Mechie. They're not any of those dudes, right? They're good players, right? So this just goes to show you what a good job they're doing. They're even more defense. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry, and you got him. And you got what's the other cornerback's name? Golly, what's the other corner's name? Downs. Yeah, Caleb Downs. You got Caleb Downs. And, you also running back, you got Jam Miller. But these guys, but what it tells you is that's a better coaching job when you take like some guys, just some good guys, and you just meld them together. You just get them to play team ball. You just get them to play for each other. You get them to work hard and not worry about, who getting the credit and all this kind of stuff, because it don't really matter who's getting the credit, because, it's a team goal, right? And so really that's all, Nick's doing with this team. He's doing the most with the least. And this team is 12-1. And now the selection committee gonna have their thing, to do, because you're gonna have 4 teams with undefeated records, 3 teams, because you got Washington, you got Michigan, you got Florida State. It's 3 teams, and then you got either Texas or Alabama. And that's important because when you look at it, are they gonna leave out an SEC champion? Because an SEC team has pretty much been in the CFP almost every year, but certainly not not a CFP champ, that's won 12 games, and that's what we're facing. Because then you go on with a Texas team that just won that Big 12 championship. They're 12-1 also, with a win over Bama back in September on the 3rd game of the season. So the selection committee got a job, man. I'm saying this right here. But I'm just glad it ain't my decision to make. And, I'm just going to say, man, if If they picked Florida, I mean, and really it would have been good if Florida State had a loss, and then you would have said, okay, then the last two teams is Texas and Alabama. But Louisville, played their part and offered themselves up as a sacrifice to let Florida State with a third string quarterback. It'll be a second string quarterback. The second string quarterback was in concussion protocol, right? So, and they're probably going to take Texas. I think that's what they're probably gonna do. But I'm a hold firm. It's roll tide for me all day long, right? Roll tide for all of y'all all day long, right? And so Bama gets the win. We're gonna wait and see what happens. My lights went out, my battery's dead, so we're gonna just hold off right now on the on that or whatever. But yeah, they got the win. Nobody thought they was gonna win. They came in as 5-point underdogs, and Bama got that win. So it's roll tide, roll tide, roll tide, roll tide. And like I said, best coaching job I think Nick Saban has done. This cast of you can say overachievers, putting it together, getting a win against a team that hadn't lost a game since, I don't know, about 2 years ago today, in 2021, where they beat them. I think it was 41-17. And right back to the scene of the crime, we do that thing again. And Alabama wins again. And we go, maybe, I'm hoping, I'm praying, back to the CFP. Back than what I like to call the Nick Saban Alabama Invitational. That's what I like to call it. And that's what I think it's going to be. That's the selection committee. Unless they want to completely whitewash the SEC, the most dominant conference in college. Winning percentage is the highest, always has been the highest winning percentage, always will be. Well, I shouldn't say always will be, but they're going to be tougher next year because Texas and Oklahoma come next year, right? But it's a tough job. It's a tough job. But I'm roll tiding all day long, and we just gonna see. We'll know come Tuesday which way they lean. It might be tomorrow. We might know tomorrow which way that thing leaning. But roll tide, and Alabama gets the win like they always do about this time, and they win the SEC like they always do. And if they get back in that CFP, hey, I can't bet. I wouldn't bet against them. I wouldn't bet against them. But I'm gonna sleep good tonight. That's for sure. So from the desk of Uncle Fred, that's all I got. Bama, your 2023 SEC champs. Roll Tide. And we'll see what happens with the rest of it. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience, where I guarantee you will not be disappointed. God bless. Catch y'all later. Roll Tide.